Water shortage tanks have been installed at Rebongwe Primary School in Soweto as part of the Kas'lam community program to combat water shedding. The tanks are part of a larger project aimed to expand to other schools in Gauteng, including Mamelodi, to ensure more schools have reliable water resources. For more on this, we're now joined by Nonhlanhla Hamese from Sanlam, who is the head of marketing and communications, and she joins us now via a video link to discuss this initiative a bit more. Nonhlanhla, thank you so much for your time. Perhaps let's start off here. I mean, you are embarking on a very important initiative aimed at ensuring that schools, particularly in Gauteng, have access to water at a time where we have been told that we may find ourselves, under water shedding in the city of Johannesburg in particular. Maybe let's start off here. Tell us more about this initiative that you have embarked on.
Good evening, Bali. Thank you so much for having me, and good evening to your viewers as well. So our initiative, Kas'lam, is rooted in addressing critical challenges within township communities. When we started with this program, we realized that the water scarcity doesn't only impact the community at large, but then we've got schools, which particularly like Rebongwe Primary Schools get impacted highly when there is a water shortage, right? So by providing water storage tanks, we ensuring that education continues and we address the fundamental needs of the community at large.
How did you go about selecting which schools would be prioritized in this initiative?
So what we did is we looked at the previously disadvantaged communities and we asked ourselves at the moment, with the water scarcity, where is it that, this impact is hitting high? So we started the pilot in Soweto, but as you've mentioned, we are moving across in Gauteng to see Mamelodi as well, to have installations in Mamelodi and make sure that all those other schools as well get water tanks that are in previously disadvantaged areas.
And which schools are still set to benefit from this initiative, aside from the ones that you've mentioned already?
We've got 8 schools already in Soweto that have we've installed these tanks, whereby we actually impacting 12,000 learners, right, at a go. And it's not only the learners, but it's the community as well, including teachers as well. So actually with Rebongwe, what has happened since we've launched this project on Thursday, on Friday, immediately they had water shedding. And the principal had to open doors to the community after hours, after school, of course, hours, so that the community can have accessibility to water. So there's 8 schools already that have these particular tanks for water.
How important is this intervention? Because I know that with some schools, when there's no water, it also means then there's no education, because the hygiene of children cannot be prioritized. So how important is it, to have an initiative like this one?
Bali, one of the ministers actually mentioned that for a child to get proper education, they need 200 days in terms of school attendance. So this initiative helps because when there is water shedding, kids are unable to go to school, meaning that there is disruption in education, there is disruption in the teachers maintaining the structure of the curriculum. But now also over and above that, if you look at the hygiene factor, it is heightened, right? The restroom facilities, it is really compromised. So those are some of the factors that get impacted when there is no water at schools. But there is another health factor whereby now, we do have in some schools where, you find that there is school feeding schools or programs whereby they cook from the school and then they make sure that kids actually have something to eat for the day. So if there is no water for the day, those kids are dependent on those meals, whether it's 1 meal or 2 meals a day. And if there is no water, then those kids are also impacted. So it's impacted in disrupting the whole school and from a health perspective as well.
And Nonhlanhla, you were saying that so far 8 schools in Soweto have been able to benefit from this program, as well as community members. And of course, you will now also then go to other communities like the likes of Mamelodi. At the same time, what is your target, particularly for schools who really are struggling with water access?
Mbali, how long is a piece of string? At the end of the day, we know that the whole country is suffering from this. So we are actually employing on other, private sectors to actually join us in doing this, right? We are aiming to go to, townships mainly, but we can't do this alone. So we are aiming on inviting more people to join us, whether it's the government, whether it's the private sector, to actually help us combat this particular crisis that we are facing as a country.
And, a lot of people would say that schools in Gauteng are better off, especially when you look at rural schools. And I speak about provinces like Limpopo in Guyana, where they struggle with access to water, the likes of schools in the Eastern Cape. Are there plans to perhaps roll this out to other struggling provinces across the country?
Absolutely, Bali, absolutely. So we have offices nationally. So of course, with our offices and with our values, we're not only going to do it in one space, but we're definitely going to go to the rural areas as well, because they also are impacted by this water crisis that we have.
What has been the response from parents, now that you have come on board to ensure that their children stay in class regardless of, the water shedding we are faced with?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, the response we got from the community when the principal took the videos on Friday when there was the water scarcity and he opened the doors for the community to have access to water. They're really excited. They're really actually quite humbled by the fact that they actually now can get water even in times of need. It's not only limited to just the school children, but also the fact that the school kids can continue with their curriculum without any disturbance. It's very, very impactful in the community, and parents are really appreciating that.
All right. And Nonhlanhla, thank you so much for your time. Very important initiative there that they have embarked on as part of the Kas'lam community program to help, schools that don't have proper access to water, particularly now at a time where we are experiencing water shedding. That is Nonhlanhla Hamese, Sanlam Head of Marketing and Communications.